those chattering teeth, that frost-burnt skin. Looks like someone just checked Cloister off their sightseeing list.
Back in business.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire. targeting. I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Where you lazy bones?
Torpificator at ready status.
scraps. Go away!
No! It's our scraps now. Finds it, we keeps it. You go away!
You dumb or dumb? Lots of scraps near here. Go get your own. Try to take our scraps, we fight.
God!
Mobilizing.
Bring time for me.
Enemy Energy transmitter deployed for battlefield recharging. Move it. Hostilities are afoot. Proceeding to attack.
All charged up.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis. Transmitter down over. Combatant scanned. handle this.
Realize you're about to die, right?
Yeah.
Hello. So, I'm trapped. Messages to the order left unanswered. Tried to run. Got about 2/5 of me gouged out. A lot of blood. Last now. Spent much of my life wondering what I'd say at the end. Trying to think of the words for this felt like reading a thesis before the presiding bishop. But a lot of people die. And not a lot of final words get remembered. Certainly no one will hear these. So why worry about being meaningful? What matters is who I was when I was alive. And if I was predestined to be Ursapod food. I think maybe I would have liked to re-roll the odds.
I've gotten 2 of them. That would be enough to be able to crack it.
Any news from the field? Any further progress? Well, excellent. Good show. I'll rest a bit easier tonight. Not as blissfully oblivious to our struggles as others here, mind you, but better. Anyhow, here's your reward. Pleasure doing business with you.
Too much Spacer's Ale? Try Auntie's Choice Pep Pills. Good for one.
All these rifts got everyone riled up, including me. What are we supposed to do if we encounter one?
Told my manager, a man is not a slice of nanner, Mr. Overby. Then I said, I am more than some commonplace...
Yeah.
Purple-berry crunch. Accept no imitation.
Ah, Inez. Have you come back for a tune-up? I've got just the injection for that. Freezes those pesky muscles right back into place.
No, yeah, a tune-up sounds good. I actually brought a few other grafting parts with me, if you reckon my arm can handle a stitch or two.
Oh, these are pristine indeed. Is this of an ursopod? My, I haven't seen one of those in many years. Oh, and a mantis swarm hive. The hunting must be good wherever you ran off to.
Yeah, you could say that. Since Doc's given her blessing, which do you reckon I go with? The ursopod's mucus gland could absorb some incoming damage, if you don't mind getting a little sticky. The mantis swarm hive, however, would be best for crowd control. Say the word, and I'll sick these little guys on any enemy in our vicinity. I'm intrigued by either option, really. Then I'll choose the same. Just refrain from many slug jokes.
Ursopod is a wonderful choice. Hold still, dear. There. I dare say you won't be needing any tune-ups in the near future. But I do trust you'll find an excuse to come by for the occasional visit. By the by, where did you find these parts? What is it, dear? You look, well, a bit like you've been stung by a terror ray. I've got ointment for that too, you know.
There's a grafting lab way out on Cloister that was still operational. Till recently. I found it, Doc. And... Law. I ain't seen any horrors like that.
Still operating? Inez, do you feel all right? The program was shut down more than 6 months ago. Any further funding would be in direct violation of Auntie's orders.
I know what I saw. They were brutalizing folk and creatures. Paying them no mind, giving them no honor, even if they succumb to the process. The doctor there, he killed a friend of mine. And you're telling me you knew nothing of it?
Inez, I swear I didn't. That sounds... Oh, Sovereign's mercy, that sounds precisely like what I would protest with every breath.
The creatures they were experimenting on broke out of their cages, killed most of the staff. But you know what's worse? Keeping a dead soldier's body on display. Like a thing. I found the doctor in charge, still alive. We spoke briefly, and I allowed him to live. On the condition that he redeems himself and uses his research for good.
But this ain't the extent of it, I fear. I need to find out who's responsible for all this.
Oh, Inez, I know you do. But with the program officially shuttered, it would be awfully difficult to ascertain which individual has the pockets to fund such a... Wait. Yes, that does shed light on a correspondence I received recently. A vice president sent a message asking for my presence and scientific expertise to discuss a unique opportunity. I found the secrecy odd at the time, but I do suppose it lines up with your discovery.
Ain't surprising. What's his name? Where can we find him?
His name is Willard Conan, VP of Experimental Operations. The very man who was in charge of the grafting program at its inception. He's... Oh, I know that look. If you mean to do something, I beg you.
I just mean to have a little chat. I will be asking Willard to reform the grafting program. You heard from Dr. Rasmussen, right? I spared him and his research for this purpose. If there's good to be had from the program, then Willard needs to invest in that good. And you're my first choice to lead the new program.
You honor me. I did receive a message from a Rasmussen, yes. He is on his way with research to hand over to me. But I will help you. Vice President Conan's office is aboard the Undisputed Claim, the flagship of Auntie's choice. I do not know where exactly, as I've never been, but it's my understanding that you will need to present this calling card to gain entry. Inez, what you are doing is noble, and I wish you the greatest of successes.
Thank you, Doc. Now, you get those grafting tools ready, because I ain't intending to fail.
Have an update about that personal matter. You know, the one that might, end the universe. The other universe-ending thing. Back at Winter's Grasp, I found someone was continuing Anais, Sir Bujold's research. Believe I have a lead on their identity. I wholly agree. I pieced together information from earlier leading to Golden Ridge on Dorado. Oddly enough, to the anchor hold at Matriarch's Mercy Monastery. I had Val set the location on our map. I recognize we're juggling multiple crises, but I'd suggest we journey there sooner than later. Inquire away. I may even respond. More than anyone alive, I suppose. Not that I agree with all of her stated conclusions. In our time at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, I gained many colleagues. But the work had cognitive demands. Let's say I possessed more associates than friends. She needn't have worried, though. I have recently come to appreciate personal connection. Theoretically. in a typically roundabout fashion, more or less. Not sure how she concluded that so quickly, but it was a reasonable hypothesis based on available data. I mean, of course I know who I am, or that is, I know who I was. Who I am now is a work in progress. A revise and resubmit. May the plan favor us against long odds.
Commander, I've been thinking. Can I bend your ear a moment? We got the intel we need, Commander. The undisputed claims our destination. If we find this Willard and convince him to use this grafting research for folks' betterment, well then, all this hurt we've seen will have counted for something. Been doing some thinking about what happened in the lab. I went there to kill that man for what he did to Ortiz, and instead, let him walk away with his research. Didn't realize till I saw the lab what a fool I was. All for thinking that company folk gave a damn about each other. Even so, I still reckon we got a real shot of making things better. Auntie's Choice can't be trusted on their own with this research, that's clear. But if someone like me were to guide them, maybe they can be shaped into what I thought they were. If they could actually help folk like they claimed they would when they liberated Tau Ceti, it'd make life better for anyone. Elsewise, there'll only be more victims in their wake. Ain't just saying that, are you? Ortiz sent me a message because he knew I would take action, that I'd remedy the betrayal both of us faced. If he were here now, he'd understand, I think. Are you with me? Thanks, Commander. Maybe this is what folk mean by the architects setting things in motion. If I hadn't broken my contract, I wouldn't be here. Maybe proving myself was never the intention. Maybe this is what I was meant to do. Let's just see what Willard's got to say, all right?
Have I broken the game's music? Because it seems like the music is just cutting out whenever I load into the world now. It's not playing any music anymore. I don't know why the music isn't working anymore, but it seems to have just stopped.
Plans to lay their
Survive.
Maybe related to that coded message that was going over the radio?
Keep your behavior within acceptable parameters.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Wish.
Thank law the displaced listened to reason. Think of the cost if our predictions had not been heeded.
My time is yours. You may peruse.
Oh, I didn't expect us to wander into the scene of a murder, but somehow I'm not entirely surprised. Anomalous events have a way of spreading, multiplying. We should find a way inside. There might be clues to what happened, and where Anais's research is now. They should have been sealed in that room to focus on their studies uninterrupted. No one in or out. I'd suspect the missing anchorite knows something, at least. We should ask her. Might be some signs in there of where she went. The terminal at Winter's Grasp said Anais' work was sent here. There might be signs of that, or where the missing anchorite got off to. There may be more to learn here. We should keep looking. I've had a chance to look around. You seem like you've done a thorough sweep. We should discuss what we've uncovered. Poor thing. Blunt force trauma to the occipital lobe, I believe. Possible signs of an altercation. Might have been an accident. Might not have been. Hard to say with just a superficial glance. At the very least, her cloister mate Anchor's Run has some explaining to do. A disputation of current order methodology focuses mainly on our presiding bishop, but saves ample room for the laureate council and previous regime as well. I believe I got the gist by efficiently skimming. The general concern is that the order has lost its way. My old department is repeatedly mentioned in a favorable light. Anais' work is regarded highly. I saw that. I believe it was Anchoress Chow's diary. Spoke about regular visits by an exemplar Southworth who requested access to Anais' work. Chow seemed worried they were conspiring about something. That they'd mentioned an old order research station. That old research facility seems the most likely spot to look next. I know the coordinates on Eden, placed by the name of Point Obviation. I don't know what happened to Anchoress Chow, but leaving a body behind is suspicious, and the disputation reads like a call to arms for any fringe thinkers in the Order. There's no destroying the copies at this point, I'm afraid. We're past that. The research is out there. We need a way to keep anyone from taking it up further in the future. If we go in guns blazing from here, it will only continue. We need a plan to annihilate the idea. This is the exact sort of work we did at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. Diverting problematic events. We learned how to best respond once things begin to spread. We developed tactics at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection to minimize unforeseeable consequences. We can discuss once we see the situation on the ground. Yes, time to seek out Anchorus Brunn.
I cogitate more efficiently knowing you're on our side.
Halt! Abide! Cease any and all manner of perambulation. Don't know who you all are, but unexpected guests are categorically unwelcome here. How'd you even find this place? Maybe I should just shoot you and glean details from your logs.
Ah, Exemplar, if I may. Surely you recognize such a notable member of our cohort, Marisol Delgado. The End Point?
I can't recall if I ended whoever came up with that name. Surely hope so.
You were head causality intercessor of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, right up till the end, correct?
More or less.
Well, what a fortuitous alignment of low-probability events this is. Our efforts here are based on your former department. You should confer with Ancrus Brunn straight away.
We actually sought to find you and others of your program, Intercessor Delgado. A serendipitous event, you arriving. Assuming you'll vouchsafe for your colleagues, you may all proceed. You'll find Wilhelmina up the lift, 4th floor.
Welcome to Point Obviation. Everyone here is such an admirer. You've been an enormous influence, Intercessor Delgado.
Ancrus Brunn is up the lift, 4th floor.
Ancrus Brunn is continuing Anais' research from Winter's Grass. I'm sure of it. Best play along for now, until we can ascertain the best course of action.
She's got the right of it. There's far too many guards for us to take on alone.
Is that Marisol?
The Endpoint herself. I thought she was a myth.
Let's be on our best behavior. Don't even breathe. This experiment seems a mite controversial, dangerous even, both in a physical and mathematical sense.
Your job is intimidation, not risk assessment. The Anchoress knows what she's doing.
Of course. Forgive me. I will look to math as a source of comfort rather than anxiety.
You're the anomalous outlier from the wireless.
Look, everyone! It's the Endpoint. Come to join us, I take it.
I do have a unique interest in what you all are doing here.
As you can see, I guard the entrance. Best post on Point Obviation.
Yeah. Have an intellectually stimulating day. lovely day for differential geometry.
No, hello. Cogitate here often?
Hello, layperson.
You're remarkably effective for someone so ignorant of abstract calculus.
I am a longtime vocal exponent of your work, Intercessor Delgado. I hope you don't mind me saying. Go on up. You're expected.
Doubt the Anchoress will walk away from the research lightly. May require some aggressive convincing.
Oh, who's this? Oh, yes, I remember you. We met earlier at the site of my former seclusion. I've heard much of your exploits since. If I recall correctly, you helped prove Anchoress Chow's argument that violence is sometimes necessary. I admit I have modified my stance toward that more recently. I understand you allowed Seer Wiley to go free, yes? Once was a time I would have made that exact same decision. And you're Marisol Delgado. We've never met somehow, but I've read your file. An impressive body of work, though often quite mortiferously inclined.
Less so over time. There were too many pesky repercussions, I came to find.
Yes, well, to what do we owe the pleasure? Are you familiar with our goals? Come to join up, perhaps, or should I say re-enlist? Isn't it, though? So much more room to think. No one else leaving their sweaty breeches next to the comestibles nook. It's a refurbished test chamber, in fact. The facility was originally utilized in experiments by the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, so it's highly appropriate for the vital work we're doing here. You saw the disputation, though. Tell me, what did you think? You read it, yes? You're right, it did. Normally, I'm the soul of fastidiousness, I assure you. I hope you can forgive my unconscionable error as I summarize my main points.
We'll overlook it this one time. Go on.
Surely you're aware of the myriad errors of our current presiding bishop and previous regime. One of whom shut down the division that operated here, the other squandered it. Our sect aims to end human suffering, sooner than later. We've taken great inspiration from your former department, from their methods and their science. To solve the universal equation in our lifetime requires bold action, clever calculation, and assiduous work. Yes, we have Grace, that is, Exemplar Southworth, to thank for that. Her visits to the anchor hold were quite thought-provoking, as was the research she showed me from Sia Bujold. Bujold's thinking was unconventional, ahead of her time. Why, in fact, she's here with us now today, overseeing an experiment that proves her researcher's theories.
Really? Sir Bujold is here, at present, in this facility? The one we're presently standing in?
Yes, we're so very pleased to have her. If you thought her work before was captivating, wait until you hear the experiment she's overseeing now. The intent is to represent the building blocks of the universe within a test chamber, then extrapolate data revealing the universal equation from the micro-universe that forms.
Sounds like it could change everything, one might say.
Why, you should go see for yourself. As former colleagues, I'm sure you'd like to reacquaint. Go on. I'll call down to let her know you're coming. Yes, she's monitoring the experiment. I'll have elevator access unlocked so you can join her. Do please stay in the observation area, though. The work is quite delicate. We'll speak further after you check over Sia Bujold's work and the experiment concludes. Oh, so exciting. Thought you were heading to assist Sia Bujold downstairs.
We'll find time for a private word after the mission.
How much longer do you predict preparations will take?
Almost ready. Perfect timing for my former colleague to peer review my work. I'll press them to verify my settings. Thereupon, we will begin.
Splendid. While others pontificate, we act. I await word of our success with bated breath.
Head Intercessor Delgado, what an opportune time for you to appear. At the perfect moment to assist our experiment.
What in the endless void are you?
Shh. Comms off, but others are near. I need your aid before this ridiculous affair careens into disaster. Can I rely on you this time? Or will you already intend on scurrying away again? The test involves 4 stations. Each represents one of the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Zeranium gas, macro-ivs, nucleons, N-rays. All the usual stuff. That test chamber is where all are meant to mix. To simulate a mini-universe I can apply my theories to, pull data from, and deduce the universal equation in a reduced time frame. We know what happens if that's successful. So I need you to muck with each station's settings, then initiate the experiment. All you need to do is adjust each station's settings slightly. Things will cascade from there. Remember, subtlety is required.
Yes, if we alter the experiment input data in a less than delicate fashion, Brunn will notice, I assure you.
The guards on the 2nd floor won't appreciate visitors, so avoid getting spotted. Here's a maintenance key. Head down the vent. It's only the fate of the galaxy riding on it, so perhaps try to be careful.
P and Q are true if P is true or Q is true. A simple truth table for turbulent times. It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summing 2 preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Define recurrence relation, get us...
Seems sufficiently scrambled. That should do it. Seems sufficiently scrambled. Seems sufficiently scrambled.
If you're done, evaluating my work and all settings are final, enter the terminal command to void the oxygen from the test chamber. The experiment will then begin. Commendable effort scrambling those settings.
Did it work? Did it work? See, Bushot, was it a success? What happened?
Hold the applause just yet. I need to run the numbers. I'm sending the others back up to you. They can describe the proceedings in detail.
I shall await their arrival. Anchor's Brun out. That is how these messages end, yes? If not, farewell.
The results of the experiment will be a career-ending embarrassment for Anchoress Brun. But she won't accept this lightly. We'll need to do more.
Yes, our next steps here will be crucial. I know this type of mission well. Granted, my targets were always meticulously well-researched beforehand.
You'll need to convince her, destroy her logic, end this research for good. All it requires is a forceful array of incisive argumentation, logical reasoning, coercive persuasion, and cognitive contortioning.
You mean one of our old brain-off maneuvers? Really? That's what the rank and file in our old department used to call it. Provost Bolding considered it a casual moniker unbefitting of an order scientician.
Make Brun give up on science, logic, and reason entirely. Then no one will ever dare continue the research again. Between you and Marisol, it should be a light challenge. Easy.
A brain-off against an Order anchorite isn't entirely without risk. We could employ certain other methods to deal with her. From our former department's playbook.
Oh, yes, a book you wrote titled Making an Execution Look Like an Accident. Despite the moral quandary ideally involved, unseen consequences still abound.
That's hyperbolic at best. Data suggests significantly fewer unpredicted outcomes than outright murder, if properly executed. And I'm quite capable of skewing results in our favor.
And here I thought you'd begun to change. Success isn't guaranteed. A fair degree of cleverness is required. But you would have the help of someone reasonably intellectually nimble.
I would be willing and on hand to assist, and the other option would remain if we botch it.
Thank you for listening. That's a relief.
Honestly, I'm relieved as well. I have been trying to be different. From the person others believe me to be.
From the legend? If you're retiring as the endpoint, we'll need to find you a colorful new sobriquet. Oh, how about Executioner Emeritus?
The Decimator. Get it? 'Cause of math.
Oh, I like that one.
All right now, all right. We should go.
Typical argumentation may prove useless, and she'll likely see through most attempts at deception. Be clever, unpredictable, surprise her. But in the event you should fail, you'll need a viable backup plan, or it will erase any chance of success completely. The Anchorus is housed in a test chamber similar to this one. It's been refurbished with some rather tacky furniture, but much of the old experimental apparatus remains. There is a hatch near the elevator upstairs. An external ledge leads to a vent system that can connect the two chambers, expose the Anchorus to a lethal atmosphere. I'll need to make an announcement afterward that an accident has occurred tied into the experiment.
For an extemporaneous plan, it's not a bad one. What if the Anchoress realizes what we're doing and calls for help?
I'll cut off her comms when she begins pleading. Oh, that sounds even more heartless when I say it out loud. Please choose wisely. Here's the hatch key in case you need it. May all your endeavors elicit expected results. And Marisol, do keep out of trouble.
There you are. You saw the experiment through to the end, yes? The data hasn't arrived yet, so please do tell. Was it as beautiful as I imagined? Any inklings to the result? Or perhaps I oughtn't to have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Well, don't just stand there. Tell me everything. What? No! It couldn't! Wait. Let's start from the beginning. Step me through your understanding of what's gone awry. Really? In what way? Everyone knows probabilistic variance doesn't occur. That's established bedrock. Not that I spend much time in the lab myself. And, well, with science, one is never truly certain. This was just a start. Such models typically make an enormous amount of errors at first. All quite expected. An anticipated setback, nothing more. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be making a lot out of this, though, one must say. Really? I doubt you've had ample time to review everything assiduously enough to fire both barrels like that. Though I admire your operational candor. Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. We will continue to stride forward. There's absolutely no need for all this doom and gloom. Oh, is one of you a seer now? Because I put considerable more stock in the prognostications of the Order's prime mathematicians than I do any old run-of-the-mill soothsayer. Now, is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Everything we've done here is built off Seer Bujold's research, which is quite brilliant. Really? Will I become a laughingstock among my peers? Have the whispered jeers begun already? No. No, calm down. Breathe. You've faced setbacks before. Ah, the experiment data just arrived in my terminal. Allow me to eyeball it a moment. Perhaps there's something here to help prove or disprove any of what you've been saying. There was some variance to the input data. Not far beyond acceptable parameters, but curious. Could explain the failure. Oh, come. One bad test wouldn't mean the science is completely flawed. This has been a difficult conversation. Challenging, disputatious, at times compelling. Yet I remain unswayed.
If I may, I have a point I'd like to add. There's a critical flaw in Sir Bujold's approach I think best illustrated by this English phrase. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. I much appreciate this jest. Very simple, yet clever. Because in English, the word like can mean similar to or I prefer. And flies can be to soar, or plural of the insect. Through this perspective, it functions, makes sense, is humorous even. But in another language where words' meanings differ slightly, it does not. The framework we interpret the statement from changes, thus rendering it uninterpretable. False. Bujold's method of shortcutting the universal equation is much the same.
It lacks context. When you extrapolate the data from the mini-universe to the larger one, the information itself may scale correctly, but fail to interrelate. That is an interesting thought puzzle. As humorous as it is inapplicable. I remain unswayed.
We tried. Our fallback plan's our only option now. Head for the hatch.
What was that? You're starting to worry. There you are. Perhaps I oughtn't to have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Well, don't just step... What? Are you all right? Did you hit your head coming up here? I mean, what is that supposed to mean? It couldn't... Wait. Let's start from the beginning. Not sure what gave you that impression, but I guarantee they are a hand-picked group of top-order scientists, all fiercely committed. No shirkers or malingerers among them. What else concerns you? Solving the universal equation demands considerable thoroughness, but also requires all possible efficiency. Though, that said, it's true that we must guard against skimping unduly, to any extent that might introduce error. This was just a start. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be making... I miss her skepticalness and insight. If we could agree on a topic, there could be little doubt in its logic and rectitude. Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. Oh, now is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Everything we've done here is built off Sir Bujold's research with... Really? Will I become a... the experiment... There was some variance to the input data. Oh, come. What? This has been a...
If I may, there's a critical time I'm through the...
It lacks This little colloquy has proven rather arduous and... your points fail to... Wait. Considered as a whole... Damn it. No, I see it now. You are correct. We have obstinately and misguidedly blundered along here. The flaws in Bujolt's research now seem apparent. Time for me to admit my errors. I'll need to inform everyone. Shut down research and operations. What will I do now? There's no place for me. Go. Leave me be.
Our work here is done, it seems.
Fellow scholars of the Order, this is Anchoress Byrne, with an unfortunate announcement. Our experiment today was a failure. Our line of inquiry has proven intrinsically flawed. I became dazzled by bold, captivating ideas and ignored bad science. I am hereby canceling all related research, shuttering the program, and resigning from the Order. If I have any final advice to impart to all of you, it is this: never follow your hearts.
I understand now why they say never meet your heroes, Intercessor Delgado. You've truly been an enormous disappointment. A key experiment fails and Anchoress Brun abandons vital research right after you and your consort arrive. And we are all to believe these events were unrelated?
That's circumstantial and more than a mite bit paranoid. I expect better from an Order scientician. Even one from the Department of Applied Scientism.
Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado. That might have worked on Anchoress Brun, but I've talked to more than 4 people in the last 10 years. I'm not buying it. The Anchoress, poor trusting soul that she was, may have believed you were here in good faith, but I don't. You're looking more and more like enemies to me. You think I'm predisposed to assume their logic is sound and reasoning impeccable? Perhaps I do defer in part where such intellects are involved. Yet, the greater facts of this matter remain unevinced, and I remain unconvinced. No, I expect not. I suppose I just needed you to be. I wanted so much to do something here, something relevant, meaningful. Now it's all gone. I don't know what to believe anymore. Go on. Get out of here. Before I change my mind. Fellow exemplars of the Order, stand down.
That was some good arguing.
Yeah.
Reckon you'd give Auntie's litigation team a run for their bits.
Yes, well done, Commander. Anais will be pleased.
That's it then? The project is over? The secrets of the universe forever beyond our grasp?
Oh, look who it is. The legendary former head intercessor of the Order. Another mission successfully completed. Made it through all that without a scratch, hmm? Glad to see. Here's a future I'd always hoped for. You listened. Didn't just rush in like, I am Marisol Delgado. I am always right, even when I'm wrong.
The credit or blame belongs to the commander here. It was their decision, ultimately.
You forget I know you. You always thought you knew better. No one could ever convince you of anything. Before, that is. Good to see. Maybe you are facing yourself.
There are a few things I'm still not used to saying. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Please. And thank you. But thank you, Anais.
At any rate, I'm off. You all take care now. Marisol, don't be too enigmatic or anything. Try. Before I forget. Meant to give you this earlier.
Oh, thank you, Anais. Goodbye. Oh, Brunn obviously murdered her. Thought you knew that. Perhaps it was an accident. Perhaps she simply wanted to knock Chow unconscious so she could sneak away. Or not. Indefinite immurement isn't for everyone. Even the finest minds may crack under the strain. But her canned feigned concern about Chow, how she kept changing the subject, both belied an underlying sense of guilt to me. Oh, not really. Not yet, at any rate. Everything's a bit raw right now. But suppose I will be. Thank you, dear.
Might take some time for Marisol to see yet, but I reckon this was the best possible outcome. There's always another way. Now she knows that too.
Commander, it's customary to evaluate results after a mission of reasonable significance. Would now be good? I've had some time to cogitate over what occurred at Point Obviation. Some parts don't sit right with me still. Wonder if you and I might talk it through. A bit, yes. With the work I used to do, I'm no stranger to guilt and regret. Midway into my requisite sleep cycle is when it usually plagues me the most. With Anchoress Brunn, I know what we did was right. I know it saved lives. But we tricked her. Forced her to doubt her mind. You heard her. She's not just dissuaded. We broke her. And yet, such actions were par for the course for me in the past. When my remorse for Brunn rears its head, it will need to get in line. Southworth was complicit, yes. Though she's alive, I believe we've squashed her reviving my old department. Struck me as little more than a functionary with a gun, truth be told. Well, one hopes. According to Anais, we greatly reduced the likelihood of that occurring. It's not zero, but completing the brain off lowered the chance significantly. She seemed pleased that we listened to her concerns, so I've changed, apparently. Thanks to you. It's been a while since anyone gave me a good talking to like Anais did. And I'll admit your influence has been rather positive. I'm pleased with the path I'm on now. I didn't think this is what the plan had in store for me. I've been facing myself with the same zeal I face my enemies. With tidier results. Appreciate you taking the time to talk it over, Commander.
Sorry for the wait, just had a brief delivery.
Always remember, commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship bits, but because of the
Welcome to Head Office Tower. Again.
Subjects get. We respond to what you want through your decisions as consumers.
Just want to say good luck. We're all counting on you.
Wait 20 years to bring a new product to market when it can be enhancing people's lives now. As a responsible member of society, we allow you product testing, respecting your right to risk a few pesky side effects as an early adopter. At Auntie's Choice, we understand that the marketplace is dynamic, efficient, and well-suited to the shifting needs of our populace. After all, that's what
It's high time one of you scientist types responded to my calling cards. The position's been open for more than 2 days, and already productivity is tanked by 149.4%. You want the role, it's yours, but I'm not budging on those hourly rates.
Let me guess. You're backfilling Rasmussen's position? Or all the scientists who work with him on Cloister lying cold on the lab floor?
Both, obviously. Unless you mean to tell me a graft like yours can install itself. Now, do you want the job or not? We're burning starlight. Decent? I'll have you know that profits were forecast to be in the billions in my assessment last quarter.
That's not what we're talking about. Look, we found your lab on Cloister. A friend of mine who succumbed to his graft sent me there to put an end to your work. It was damn troubling. But after speaking with your doc, I came to see that the program's got much potential. If we shift focus, reform our work, grafts could better the lives for all folk. Rasmussen's now with Doc Tinsley in Fairfield, and they're ready to restart this work if we can get your agreement. No more killing, much more progress. What do you say?
I see someone failed out of the anti-Cleo School of Persuasion. Why would I ever pursue something so dull as reform? How does it serve me?
Troopers are getting maimed in battle, and many civvies are getting sick from lack of food, clean water. Folk feel helpless. Grafts could treat all that. Some creatures can regrow limbs and safely consume tainted goods. If we give folk those same abilities, they won't have anything to fear. They can heal from all the wars done to them.
Ah, I see now. With grafts, our employees can get back to work faster and for longer hours. You might have led with that. It's brilliant. But there is one small fly in the soup. Who exactly are you to dictate to me what we should be doing? I did not even know your name before you stepped through this door.
When I joined up in Tau Ceti, I was promised that if I proved myself, demonstrated exceptionalism, the moment would come where I could make a pitch for my own future. I ensured the safety of the delegates at the peace talks. I helped hunt down the fiend who destroyed our base on Golden Ridge. So yeah, I'd say the moment I'm owed has arrived.
Fine. Perhaps there is an opportunity here to expand our user base. But we can only pursue such a thing if we secure the funding. I could approach my business partner to this end, but I will require proof that this little reformation of yours is a viable investment. As such, you need to prove that a grafted trooper can achieve what the average one cannot.
You say that as though you have something in mind.
I do. The commander of our fortified position on Praetor has been chomping at the bit for a show of force. To rally the troops in our market share, so to speak. He will have all the minute details, of course, but assisting him And demonstrating your prowess will give us the leverage we need. I could tell you possessed a modicum of business sense. Head to Praetor. I'll send a reporter with camera drones to meet you there and debrief with our ground forces.
Hold on. You didn't say anything about this being filmed.
Heroism is nothing without exciting footage and a talking head to sell it to the masses. So do make sure you put on a good show. Off you go, then.
That reporter's gotta be nearby. Ain't keen to jump to conclusions, but I think I got a notion of what we're doing here.
I assume you've got something important to discuss, or a report to give. That is by far the best news I've heard all day. If you were one of mine, I'd give you a promotion for speeding along my departure from this sad lump of rock they call a moon. I'll send orders to have them finish the tunnel immediately.
I'm Orland Crawford, the outsourced but never outmatched wartime correspondent for the ACS Undisputed Claim. You must be the grafted soldier, here to show us all what you can do.
The name's Inez, and yes, Willard Conan sent me to help you with some sort of... I don't know what, exactly.
Now, let's not skip on introductions. Who is this you have with you? Oh, I see.
Ah, I appreciate the commander for saying so. I've been traveling with them for some time, following my dismissal from the forces.
Vice President Conan said he was sending his best. So let's get on with it. Your mission is to infiltrate the Protectorate blockade to the north and capture it. Their defenses are too great to face head-on, so you'll want to sneak in through the back entrance. We've obtained the entry codes through great effort.
My camera drones will be filming the action from above, so do put on a good show. Blow up a few things, and use Inez's abilities to demonstrate the might of Auntie's choice. Yes?
They've detained several of our scouts. I'd like to see them returned. If you deliver this weapons cache to them and free them, they might offer some aid in the fight.
This is quite the opportunity. Normally, a POW might be written off as shrinkage, an unfortunate, unavoidable loss. But their rescue will be worth far more in publicity.
So what? If I hadn't come along, you all would have left those troopers to rot.
Our motto is to leave no man behind, unless it breaches our contract and promises financial penalties, which this does. Now, take these codes for the back door and go.
Once you infiltrate the blockade, neutralize our foes, and open the gates, our remaining troops will move in to secure the blockade for ourselves. Any questions? Well, seeing as a tunnel has been punched through by that drill of ours, you should be able to mosey your way around the mountain to the back entrance.
Or you could go through the Automech production facility north of here. But that's where the scout who brought us the codes lost his life. So proceed with caution and a loaded gun.
Though I trust you may fare better than that poor sod did, I do look forward to seeing you take the fight to the Protectorate. It's about time Auntie gave him a good walloping. Ooh, and spare some time for me after you emerge victorious, won't you? What am I saying? Of course you will. Who wouldn't want to be interviewed for the wireless? Go on now.
Here we are, about to kick the proverbial mantisaur nest. Hope you're ready for your close-up. Damn, of course they get it. Someone call for a medic. To the rescue! Right on.
It's a privilege.
Heal.
Check your scope for combatant analysis. Energy transmitter deployed for battlefield recharge. Replenishing my firearm. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Taking the fight out of them. Fortification in progress. Target F.
For the history books. Let's open the gate for that reporter and the troops before these bodies get cold.
Over here! Let us out!
Ain't no way to leave us here. We still got 43 months of boot camp loans to pay off.
Many thanks for freeing us.
Huh. Look at you, rocketing up the corporate ladder.
If it isn't our favorite my trauma contract. Into a management position after this?
Over here! Let's have a word with the...
I assume you've got something important to discuss, or a...
Over here! Let's have a word... Well, the blockade is ours now, but the way in which you captured it lacked a certain... finesse, shall we say. Not sure my drone's footage will show what we were looking for.
That hasn't stopped you lot from spinning a story before. You said something about an interview earlier. Well, I'll answer your questions. You'll make me look good in return?
It's audio only, Trooper. And you're working with a true professional now. Let me work, huh? Relax. Be authentically you, though you'd be wise to throw in a tagline or two. Ready?
Well,
Great! Recording's already begun. I'm here, live at the scene with the fearsome grafted soldier Inez. It's a shame you cannot see this, dear listener, for it is impressive indeed. Inez, your destruction of those dastardly Protectorate troops was awe-inspiring. You must feel like the employee of the month, having brought such a decisive victory to Auntie's choice.
I'm just, doing my part. I joined up because I believed in our mission, to liberate Arcadia. Reckon my actions illustrate that more than anything I could ever say. Suppose I do know a thing or two about a pep talk. Given many in my time to troopers suffering injury or boredom.
How wonderful! I hadn't realized Inez here had initiated a recruitment campaign. Truly a lesson to us all. Dear audience, the voice you just heard is that of the soldier's close associate and eyewitness to the battle and the marvelous carnage littering the land. You also freed some of our troopers from the Protectorate's fiendish grasp. One can only imagine the torture they suffered. Tell us about it. The rescue, in detail if you would.
Look, I did what anyone with an ounce of sense would do. Ain't gonna leave one of my own in such a state. And if I had it my way, I would have acted sooner.
Oh, my! So the reports were true. A limb can be replaced, yes, but to hear that they are now immune to the joy that Auntie brings is quite horrifying.
It's something, all right. They were, certainly malnourished and bored. Suppose things may have gotten worse with time.
In any case, those soldiers can finally return to their postings again. Now, I have a question about your abilities, Inez. What sets a trooper like you apart from the rest?
These graphs make me stronger. Good in a bind. I know I'm a bit of a curiosity. Ain't too many of us left. But there is so much good we can do with grafting, if we try. I got a plan, see? To start the grafting program up again. The research is promising, and with the right backing, it could be a product that can better the lives of everyone.
A fascinating idea. I think we'd all sleep soundly if we knew more of you were running amok on our behalf. Before we wrap, have you anything else of note to tell our undoubtedly enraptured audience?
Oh, I got one. Ain't just a tested and true product that'll put you over the top. A graft like mine might also get you into orbit.
Ah, I see. A bit of cheeky product placement for zero-G whiskey. Very well done, you. And that's a wrap. You can go back to slouching or sneering or whatever else it is you do. Astonishingly well. Rest assured, our listeners will be glued to their radios for all the lurid details and to hear more of my award-deserving reporting, naturally.
Well, that's a damn sight better than I was anticipating. Willard will have to make good on our deal now. Let's head back and speak with him.
You do that, and I will remain here burdened by the drudgery of war. Farewell.
nature heedlessly assembled and vastly rebettered it through artificial means. At Auntie's choice, we strive to be 110% artificial. Artificiality is our guiding principle. Enjoy an artificially enhanced existence through the conspicuous consumption of unavoidable embedded chemicals. With Auntie...
Ah, so the conquering heroes have returned from the blockade. The footage I received tells the story it needs to, but I am rather disappointed by the absence of excitement, of pizzazz. But a win is a win, as middling achievers often say. Oh, where are my manners? Commander, Inez, meet our new benefactor. This is the business partner I spoke to you about, and she has graciously agreed to fund our new venture.
Yes, we've met. Now, let's not get overly ahead of ourselves. Putting on a show is 40% of the battle. The remaining 60% is messaging.
Well, I'd say these two certainly made our correspondence job easier. Only Auntie herself could have done a finer job at providing sound bites.
Let's try not to exaggerate. It was a fine showing. Now, with her as the face of the brand, we might really have something.
Look, I know I ain't exactly the profile of a business partner, but I know medicine, and I know the potential of grafts more than anyone. You'll not find my experience anywhere.
Perhaps so, but unfortunately I can't be expected to simply take your word for it. You know how it is. Low-level workers have a certain flair for lying and grifting, whilst concurrently exaggerating all accomplishments and ills.
But we can trust your word as her current supervisor. What sort of performance review might you give this associate?
Well, it's easy to go on soldiering when you trust the one giving the orders.
Well, that's a reasonable endorsement. Wouldn't fit in the one-line write-in space for her quarterly appraisal, but I suppose you couldn't know.
So we have a deal then? I admit that the raid and the interview may not have gone as swimmingly as I would have liked, but there is something there.
Suppose I can make good on the funding after all. We'll see in time where this arrangement leaves us. In any case, good day.
So that's it. We're cleared to restart the grafting program. And you'll abide by my demands. No more senseless killing. No more hurting folk?
Of course not. Unless said folk agree to it. Yes, we are at an agreement. Consider this a bonus for your efforts. When the time is right, I will reach out to you for further planning. You have been instrumental, soldier. Inez, well done indeed.
I'll settle for a moment of rest, Commander. Thanks. Have time for a chat, Commander? Willard, Vice President Conan, sent me a message just now about how the investment meeting went. Seems he showed off the footage from the blockade, interview and all, and they all agreed to fund the grafting program and start it up again in earnest. I think we actually pulled this off, Commander. They even thought to bring me into middle management for the program. Can you believe it? After you and I finish what we set out to do for Arcadia, of course. I'd say closing these rifts take priority over a career change. I'm realizing now that I never really imagined something like this was possible after ending my contract like that. Never thought I'd be at the forefront of a military campaign. Never thought I'd be able to change much about Auntie's choice, let alone that I'd want to. But here I am. Reckon you could say I proved myself after all. Thank you, Commander, for everything. Anyhow, that's enough sorting my thoughts for the moment. We got a galaxy to save. ain't no use standing around. Pull out that rift modulator and fire it up.
Isn't Asa theoretically in charge of Glorious Dawn now? Those Rift cultists in Newton might stand down if she's present.
Commander, Glorious Dawn members up ahead. Let me handle them. They'll listen if they wish to continue to draw breath.
What? Sorry. Caught me lost in my upper story.
There's something you wanted to converse on?
I think I can leverage my previous position in the Dawn. People joined us to be led. I can use that. Any who refuse to fall in line will need to be summarily dealt with, of course. What say you, Commander?
You there. You need to leave. This is a holy site, traitor. Those shunned by the Dawn are not welcome. Did you not hear me? You must leave unless you wish to be ushered into perfection before the rest of this architect-forsaken colony. But please, give me an excuse to kill the betrayer of our exalted leader.
Betrayer? How dare you? I'm no betrayer. It is all of us who were betrayed. Summon your hierarch now if you value your wretched life.
I don't... that is... I can't... Hierarch! Hierarch Wolcott! You're needed over here! So, the power to manipulate rifts. That seems, let me just say I apologize if I've offended you in any way.
Wolcott? Wolcott's your hierarch? Shit.
Well, look here. I never expected to see you again, Azahelia. Here to spread more deceptions like your broadcast.
Of course. It's so simple even you can understand, Wolcott. She was setting us all up to be political pawns. Our deaths were to be proof of the Consul's superiority as a leader. But the only thing your imminent and excruciating death will serve as is proof of your incompetence.
Do the deceptions never end with you and your ilk? I'm no fool. What you claim is an impossibility. How would such a thing even work? Yes, of course it does. Makes perfect sense. If it does, in fact, do such. Can never be too certain about things of such import. A lot of crazed theoreticians about. Come, prove to me this device can do what you say. Then I will decide. But let me assure you, if you do anything but follow me to the rift, violence will ensue. I must admit to a certain modicum of suspicion towards your claims, but consider my interest piqued.
Why is the hierarchy leading outsiders to the rift?
Something of great import is afoot. No one gets escorted to the rift. Is it time for sacrifices? When's our turn?
Acolyte Farnham said he heard them talking about a device that can change the nature of the rift.
That's preposterous. There'll be some tomfoolery at hand.
Is that Azza the betrayer? Why is she here? And why is she still alive?
If you can indeed control the rift, as you say, that changes things. It could force us to rethink our understanding of the rifts, but we are nothing if not truth seekers. We are here. Prove to me that your device can manipulate the rift, as you claim. Gods! This should not be possible. That device borders on the heretical. You will hand it over now, and then we shall decide what to do with you.
And if you'd actually listened instead of being your normal fool self, you'd understand why. The leader betrayed us to the Sentinels to save herself. And if they get to you, I'm sure you'd sell me out too. Say the word and I'll just kill you now. Or get out and tell your lackeys to do the same.
I did listen. I just refused to believe. I was always jealous of your closeness to the leader. But you have a device with the power to manipulate the rifts. A power she never had, or withheld from us. I am loath to admit it, but I must accept it. The dawn can be no more. Acolytes of the glorious dawn, prepare. We leave this place within the hour, and then we must separate and save ourselves.
Ours is not to question why. Ours is to obey. If it's time for us to go, we go.
I will happily move on if the Hierarch and esteemed leaders say we must, but it just don't make sense.
Why are we leaving? I thought Walcott said we were stationed here until it was our turn to join with the Rift.
I'm confused and dismayed.
Aza's not a betrayer. She's the new esteemed leader? And we're leaving? Aza's not a betrayer. She's the new esteemed leader? And we're leaving?
found what I was looking for. No need to continue messing with the Dawn's communication devices.
If you need a house call.
Okay, it's not likely there's a excogitation chapel at the archive. It's got to be these buildings down here that I cannot figure out how to access. One of them has to be the chapel. but I don't know how to get into them. I've wandered around that big rock and didn't see a way in, so let's look it up. Well, turns out you can't get to it until you take the archive, because there's a lift from the archive that takes you up here to get to the chapel. So I literally can't get to it. So good thing I looked it up, because I would have driven myself mad not knowing how to do that.
Don't cause any trouble.
I always find I work best when undistracted. One could say I find the cultists at Newton quite the interruption to my focus. Now, how might we be of use to one another?
Nor does their stupidity. I still say we should have killed them.
I find myself wishing you'd been less persuasive. With the cultists alive, they'll stand to impede us elsewhere. Nonetheless, you did as I asked. Here is your reward. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One I must meet directly. Can I count on you? One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion web was struck by a wayward craft and crashed on Paradise Island. I need someone to recover an informational component from it. The web is an order-crafted network of information collection satellites. Our would-be Protectorate overlords squandered them as glorified surveillance devices. We actually implanted a back door in the web to bring it back under our control, should a circumstance like this arise. But we did not foresee certain Protectorate modifications. But let's not speak of that. Find a way past the Protectorate at the crash site, collect the data, and return it here. Violence is likely, but perhaps you'll find an alternative. Only theoretically. The Protectorate guarding the site will be anything but welcoming. You'd likely need to find something, or someone, to wrest their attention away from you. I cannot say how that might be accomplished, unfortunately. Some of our scholars find answers to their solutions at the CAF integration point. Perhaps you might do the same. Collect the data from the crashed site and return it here. May the odds prevail against your bloody demise.
If it isn't my favorite collaborator. I thought I said we shouldn't be seen together. You did sharpen my pencil, so I suppose sharpening yours is only fair. I'll put in a word with my associates to pass along to whatever Protectorate forces are on site to expect you. It's no guarantee, but at least they won't fire upon you on site. In exchange for my help, however, I want you to bring the data back here so that I can make a copy of it. Before you hand it over to the Order, to be clear. Do we have an accord? And now you'll help me out more. So sweet of you, really. We do work well together, don't we? Return here when you have the data. I'll be waiting.
What fortune! Our technician manifests at last. Halt there. You match the description of the technician we have been vigilantly awaiting, but as they say, assumptions made are mistakes readied. Present yourself, so that I may take the measure of you. Evidently so. Satellites from our magnificent Hyperion reticulum do not tumble so gracelessly down from the skies every day. Some might label me mistrustful, but I wonder at your sudden assignment to this matter. Your tardiness, too, invites questions. It raises doubt you are even who you presume to be. There is no mistaking the zeal and ardor in your voice. I will not apologize for my caution. though I will acknowledge I held amounts of it in overabundance. You may avail yourself of the satellite. Matriarch guide you in your work. Go about your business, then.
People are gonna start to talk. Aren't you reliable? I just need one moment to copy the data. There, all done. Thank you ever so much. Was there anything else you wish to discuss? No need to wait for permission. Ask them. My left pinky feels a little tingly. All jesting aside, no. I learned it's best not to exceed a moderate amount of caring when it comes to the actions of others. You'll only be disappointed.
I look forward to the reclamation of the Hyperion web. Hopefully you shall facilitate that. Now, how might we be of use to one another? Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose should have been! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. Not by a factor of thousands. You'll have to tell me about your scholastic experiences someday, colleague. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.
Good to see you again. I had hoped we could speak earlier, but no matter. A little time remains. You are a crucial variable in the solution to a critical problem. Since the unfortunate end of the peace talks, Gertie and I have kept in communication, and we believe it is still possible to get the Order and Auntie's Choice to work together. When you go in to speak with the presiding bishop, please raise the issue with her. I assure you this is the correct thing to do. For yourself, for us, for Arcadia. Farewell. I would say good luck, but I put no stock in chance, only probability. May the plan favor us against long odds.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue. but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. Faith is trust without evidence. You deserve far more than that. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be. But I trusted the plan, and lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. If your actions were so easily imitable, then we would not be speaking right now. Accept the credit. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. I just received the most curious transmission from Auntie Cleo. She wishes to discuss a partnership of sorts, and I heard you were the source of this plot. I must admit I have significant doubts about colluding with an entity like Auntie's Choice. Why should the Order agree to even entertain the possibility?
Simply put, we got the troops, the firepower, and the know-how to beat the Protectorate. Respectfully, I think we both know that your forces can't do that on their own.
Military support loses its usefulness quickly in times of peace. It is that which gives me pause, among other concerns. Yes, perhaps this is a fine opportunity to curve Death's grim median. Auntie Cleo has already proposed a secure conference room on board the Undisputed Claim for our use. I will await your arrival there to mediate. The plan is always in motion, much like you, it would seem. Call it proof of concept. Laplace's garden is more than its aesthetic. It offers a vision of a future free from the despotic rule of narrow-minded jingoists, where the fruit of the plan can finally ripen. It saddens me to see the garden so despoiled by our wartime presence. But with the loss of Spirton, necessity dictated we quarter here in the interim. Oh, the Laureate Council simply draws a name out of a hat. No? Go figure. In reality, I was recommended for my position by the preceding bishop. Paired with my skills as a seer, I was the natural choice when it came time for the council to vote. Thank you for that charitable assessment. My predecessor, presiding Bishop Orlo, and I had a close working relationship. He knew I possessed the skills and temperament for the role. I counted him a friend. Orlo shared with me his doubts about the Order's partnership with the Protectorate, the compromises made. He had many such regrets at the end of his life. It is humbling indeed to confront one's own mortality. We must all assess our individual contributions to the plan before the final class lets out. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
Be the statistical exception to the natural state of entropy in the universe.
Okay, we're coming up on time to call it for the day and go and make dinner. So this seems like a good time to do so, just before we negotiate for peace. So let's load to Auntie's coin, and we'll call it there. We'll pick this up again tomorrow morning.
Always remember, commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship...
Make profitable choices.
If you have business here, don't let me keep you.
See you in the morning.